Hello, welcome back to this channel. If you are new in these channels, I welcome you. I am Virginie, interior designer, and I deal with houses that represent 100% who has to live them, from consulting to the entire renovation process. In this channel, I will talk about home, trying to give you helpful tips so that you can have your dream house, a house that represents you in depth and where you will always feel at your ease. Today, I'd like to talk about colors, explain the psychology of the main of them and give you some suggestions on how to use them in your home. Before we get started, if you love everything related to the topic of home and renovation, remember to subscribe to my channel for more information on this topic. Each of us has his favorite color, which we wear as often as we can and which we often bring home coloring the walls or with textiles, objects and paintings. Surely you too have a favorite color, which you feel represents better or raises better your way of being. Why does it happen? Because you have unknowingly connected colors with specific experiences that have caused you emotions. So this particular color brings you back, always unknowingly, to that emotion. Each color then has its intrinsic meaning. Some are universally recognized, others somewhat change according to the culture, and we feel this meaning more or less ours, according to our personality. Each color has a positive and a negative meaning. Let's see the meaning of each color, its psychology, and how to use it at home. Ready to go? Let's start. Let's start with red. It is the color of love, strength, energy, passion, and excitement. But not only that, it is also the symbol of blood and danger. It is your color. Here's how to use it at home. Very well in the living room and the kitchen, always taking care to balance it with some neutral color. Red is a color really intense. It gives a strong personality. Pay attention to use it in the bedrooms because its exciting component may not let you sleep well and it speed up the heartbeat. To be avoided except in small doses if there is an hypertensive person in the house. It is a color that goes with many colors, creating settings very different and suggestive. Now let's see the blue. It is the color that represents trust, loyalty, competence, intellect, peace and elegance. At the same time, it can generate sadness and coldness. In your home, you can use it in any environment. It is suitable everywhere, but you have to warm it up with some elements of another shade. A timeless and very elegant combination is with gray. Pay attention in room exposed to the north, because if not well balanced and heated, the blue will become bleak and even colder. Let's move on to the yellow. It is the color of happiness, carefree, energy, creativity and good humor. However, it has a downside because it can be an indicator of superficiality. If it's your color, be careful, however, to not abuse it because too many risks becoming really noisy. Then balance it with other colors, for example with blue or with purple if you like it, because they are actually good allies and, being his complementary, also give a lot of dynamism to the house. Excellent for its use in the kitchen and in the dining room. Be careful. Although it is the color that matches nature and the earth for its radiance, I suggest you avoid its use on outdoor textiles because it attracts insects. Now let's talk about green. It's easy to guess that it's the color of nature, but it also represents freshness, growth, quality and tranquility. Attention, however, it could also turn into immobility. You must know that it helps concentration and rest, promotes calm, so if you like it as a color, it's definitely great in the studio, in the bedroom and in the living room. To avoid making the rooms too fixed, enliven it with touches of other colors. There are two places where it's better not to use it, that are kitchen and dining room, if not in small touches. This because you have to know that it does not favor the digestion, because green reflects on the faces, giving the impression of unhealthy skin. Now let's go to the orange. It is the color of sociality, of self-confidence, boldness, success and friendship. On the other hand, it is a color that generates distraction and chaos. If you love this color, you have to know that it promotes interpersonal relationships, so it's good in common areas. On the other hand, orange is not very proper for symbolizing luxury. If you have children and want to use it in their room, just avoid applying it in front of their desks, because they will have a problem concentrating on their studies. Curiosity about this color. The dove gray color, which was used very much a few years ago, is orange less saturated. It's time to talk about pink. It is the color of sweetness, empathy, sincerity, sophisticated and playful. At the same time, it can be the sign of fragility and transience. By now, it's a typical female color, but you must know that it was originally a masculine color, because deriving from red, it also represented strength. It is a color that can be used in all environments, giving a touch of glamour to the house. A color that is not easy to use, often loved or hated, is violet, which represents ambition, luxury, regality, spirituality and balance. On the other hand, especially in its darker shades, it could transmit anxiety. Being a meditative color, you can use it everywhere. However, the ideal is to play it down with neutral color. In convivial areas, try to use it in little doses. It is an introspective color, so it does not promote sociability. Let's talk about the color black. It is a color in all respects. It forever is the color that symbolizes class, elegance, reliability, formality and security. On the other hand, it represents darkness and death. It is the color of elegance par excellence. In order not to make it gloomy, it should be illuminated with sparkling ornaments such as gold, copper or silver, played down with touches of light colors, and then it has to be softened with textiles such as silk, lace and velvet. The total black is not really recommended. It can be reached 80-90% of black, no more, because the environment becomes very strong, but not in a positive sense, but in a negative one. Let's now turn to brown. This color represents austerity, longevity, strength and vigor, but it can also be an indicator of harshness. It is a warm color, suitable in all environments. It is less dramatic than black, but also for brown, softening it with light colors is a good thing. Let's see now neutral colors such as gray or beige. They are usually used as background because they calm and give much tranquility. Here too there is the downside because they can generate melancholy and sadness. They are colors that usually everyone likes because they are a mix of various colors. For these reasons, they also adapt to all styles and multiple combinations. A shrewdness, however. There are two types of beige, the taupe, which tends to pink, and the sand, which tends to yellow. It would be better to avoid mixing these two nuances because they not match very well together. Finally, we have the white. As black, it is a color. It is the color that indicates purity, freshness and candor. At the same time, it creates detachment and absence of references. It is often treated as a non-color, but although it is a neutral and helps to often downplay some other colors, it himself is a hue and should be managed. If you like and want a total white house, remember to work well with surfaces, avoiding shining ones, and putting textiles to prevent a cold and repelling environment. If it is great in places where the climate is warm or in environments where it is crucial to emphasize hygiene, it is better to avoid it in places of socialization because it tends to make us close on ourselves. If you love the video, let me know it with a thumb up or a comment, and if you haven't done it yet, remember to subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell so you will not miss the next videos. See you soon. Bye bye!